we hear about the fourth man in the fire, and we know that it's God, but why do we know that it's God? And if it's Jesus, how would we know that?
I think there are several ideas there. It doesn't say that it's God. I think in your translation it said it was an angel, actually.
Yeah.
Well, Nebuchadnezzar seems to think it's an angel. That's what he goes with when he's like, he says, it looks like a divine being, and then he says, oh, he sent his angel. So he seems to land on that.
Yeah. In the New International, it says, well, Nebuchadnezzar says that the fourth looks like a son of the gods. So divine being. I mean, there are several places in the Old Testament where there is a divine being who's almost sort of conflated with God. I'm thinking of when Joshua, before a battle, there's the commander of the armies of the Lord who meets him. Jacob, before he goes to meet Esau, wrestles with an angel, and some of the language which is used about that angel makes you think, well, are we meant to think that this is God himself, or is it an angel of God? And the difference between the two isn't always clear cut.
Yeah, I mean, so I heard it said that when it says like the angel of the Lord, and the Lord, in our English translations is sort of in small caps, that's different, and it is somehow, so some people call it a Christophany, which is meant to be kind of Jesus, a physical kind of manifestation of Jesus, but obviously well before his actual incarnation that we read about in the New Testament. So it could be that. But yeah, I guess we can't know exactly, can we? We just know there's this fourth being in the fire, whether it is an angel sent by God, or it's a Christophany, it's, Jesus before his incarnation. I do think your question about how do we know it's God, well, somehow this physical person that they can see, it is like God being present with them in the fire, isn't it? And protecting them. It's just so clear in the way the story's been told that there is a supernatural protection happening here. Even, not a hair on their head is burned up, but meanwhile, the guards who threw them into the furnace were killed because it was so hot that they just expired on the spot. And yet, Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego are fine. They're pulled out of the fire. It's quite a funny scene again. All the officials, the king gathering around and sort of sniffing them to see if they even smell singed, and they don't. So I think however you interpret the fourth figure in the fire, what we're saying is it's clear that God, their God, is protecting them in some way, shape or form. He's with them in the fire. They're not alone in there.
Yeah. For me, what's more important is the symbolism of it, actually. It's so powerful what it says about God's presence with us, even when we're going through our own personal fiery furnaces, because I think that is something which really does happen. Sometimes we do have that sense that God is present with us. We have that sense of being held. And somebody else might look at us and say, well, how on earth did you cope with this? Well, there's the fourth man in the fire. And that's how.